The tragic result of this elaborate plot was that two innocent men who happened to be driving by had also been shot. One of them died. Nevertheless, the operation was regarded as a huge success by the SAS and by many who supported a tough line against the IRA.
The SAS often characterized as, if you like, mindless killers. But they do make arrests. And they will indeed claim to have killed, I think, something like 38 Republican terrorist guerrillas, and to have arrested many times more than that.
In fact, ambushes were relatively rare. The SAS frequently provided protection for the police as they made arrests. But such uncontroversial operations did not attract publicity.
There's quite a lot of time when you're actually on jobs and you've got a policeman with you. That's what people forget. A lot of the time you might be there as protection for them. And then when the need arises for the police to arrest people, you've actually captured them. They're arrested and you just filter away out of the way and, you've gone.
Inevitably we're sort of skewed towards the sort of spectacular shoot-em-ups. We know more about the ambushes that were successful, in which terrorists were killed, than we do about the arrests, the arrest operations which stopped an IRA operation in its tracks, and in which no shots were fired.
The number of IRA killed by the SAS during the Troubles varied dramatically from one period to another. In the 5 years to November 1983, they killed no terrorists, but during the following 3.5 years they killed 18. Did this reflect a hardening of policy, a will to make war on the IRA? One SAS soldier serving at the time describes how his troop actually set a trap for an IRA unit who were planning to murder a coal delivery man in County Tyrone.
The local ASU, Active Service Unit, were actually spotted tailing this coal man. They've selected this guy like an easy target in their eyes. He was either a part-time soldier or a part-time copper, a nice bloke, married, and they were going to kill him. But we didn't know when, and we didn't know where. So we come up with this plan. Said, right, he's driving round about and he gets a puncture or something like that where he's got to stop. So it's like a lure, in a way, to try and get them onto the job. So we selected a spot, we covered it with an OP, reactive OP, which basically means we're there to watch. But if it turns bad, we can react to it.
The spot they chose was just outside the village of Drumnachilly. An SAS man took the place of the coalman to keep him out of danger.
And lo and behold, the bad boys turn up. I mean, they're in a vehicle, you can't touch them, you can't stop them. And they drive past 3 or 4 times, past the coal lorry where the guy was sort of fixing his puncture. They actually had the wheel off, and they didn't do anything. Next minute, they're driving up the road towards where we are, and they're about 200 yards away, and the old shots start coming. And there's quite a few rounds bouncing round about, The guy who was firing was actually hanging out the back window of the car, like one of the old gangster movies. We just opened fire. There was about 8 of us there, I suppose. And they got the shot of their life, So within seconds it was over and done with. And the 3 in the car got killed.
It was one small group of people trying to do for another small group of people, and with great ruthlessness. It was a very almost personal war with the IRA. The IRA, the impression I get, were then and still are terrified of the SAS.
But the question remains, was there ever a deliberate policy to murder terrorists? A so-called shoot-to-kill policy.
problem with the phrase shoot to kill is, in military terms, it's meaningless, because if you shoot, you're trying to kill somebody. When it's used in connection with this alleged policy which existed in the late 70s, whereby the RUC and by implication other parts of the security forces were deliberately finding terrorists and killing them, again, it is simply not true.
There has never been an overt, explicit shoot-to-kill policy. That is not the way Whitehall does these things. The British way tends to be oblique and indirect.
But quite apart from questions over whether it's appropriate to use the hard edge of the SAS in Northern Ireland, did doing so actually reduce terrorism?
My own personal opinion is that killing terrorists didn't do any great good. That the more of them killed, the more disgruntled brothers, cousins, sons, nephews we had who were ripe for recruiting by the terrorists. It was much more effective to put them in prison, and that did have a deterrent effect on terrorism.
Over the last 2 decades, the SAS have emerged as anti-terrorist urban warriors, and the public has become aware of the ferocity and moral ambiguity of some of their actions, both at home and abroad. But curiously, their reputation has not been dented, but has grown. And as their glamour and celebrity has increased, so has the intensity of public interest. The SAS are now victims of their own success, their ability to function as an invisible, deniable unit, forever compromised.